Here we are, EB.
DTV.
And this is Blades.
2 episodes in 1.
More about that in a moment. First of all, we have Matt Delisle, a.k.a. Squinky, doing a fabulous job with the rock guitar in the beginning of this episode.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And he does a great shimmering thing later on in the ACS. But this entire intro, everything before the opening credits, is Brian Evely mowing the lawn. And I think it's hilarious that our entire intro is just Brian Evely mowing the lawn. And I think the only reason it works is because of how you coordinated the music with what you were shooting and editing, and like shots. Just close-up shots like this that make it interesting.
We shot the hell out of Brian Evely mowing the lawn. This was probably, 15, 20 minutes at least of footage that I boiled down to this
Wow.
thing.
Well, great job.
Well, you got to get coverage, otherwise,
Yeah, there was so much good stuff, and there's more good stuff coming up with
our great special effect.
the great
Who did that?
That had to be Robin.
Was she on set that day?
She must have been.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who else?
She's the only one who could have done that. So, as you will soon see, Brian Evely makes a mistake. As characters often do in this show.
It's kind of the theme.
Yeah, kind of the theme. And here he is.
Yeah, this was a tricky one. Because, we come up with the ideas, and then it's just like, I'll figure out a way to make it work. Do we do a practical? Do we do whatever? And most of the time it's easy, like fork in the toaster, unplug the toaster. But spinning lawnmower blade was a little bit of a challenge.
And here comes Nina Brennan. Nina plays the Insultress, who I don't think we ever name on the show. We just call her the Insultress in the credits.
Yeah.
But nobody ever calls her that. Anyway, she's absolutely brilliant on this show. Just so many wonderful nonverbals. She has a line coming up here about, oh my God. People get seriously squeaked out by that.
It's...
Because you that's what you expect from Soggy Jim.
Right.
You expect tragedy to strike.
But she prevents him from doing that.
Well, in a way, she does. But she offers him, she says, why don't you use a stick instead? And, well, Brian Evely...
I think, did we have a spare lawnmower blade that we spun on a stick or something? Because, clearly we didn't shoot through the lawnmower. That's not a thing that
I don't
happens.
know. Maybe we
that's
did.
right. She drops that bike and steals his bike.
Right.
Because she don't care.
She doesn't really care. Oh, makeup. We need more fake blood, I think, around there.
Yeah. And maybe the stick flying through the air or something. I don't know. It's just like hand in, stick in eye.
I think this is the first time Soggy Jim, is sitting down while he's giving a lesson, I guess.
Just relaxing, yeah.
Yeah.
And that whole thing with it's the wrong side of Mike's face to be delivering that line, because then you don't see all the work that, that Robin put in on the makeup. It's just a stick there, as if like we were holding the stick behind his head.
Okay, so this is the ACS for this episode, and this, for me, is where this show really goes off the rails. We started with this simple concept, and we tried to make something bigger about it, and what ended up happening is that we have this backstory that's an ACS that's longer than the episode, which is just ridiculous. Yeah. We could have dispensed with this in a minute instead of 5 minutes of dialogue about the history between the Insultress and Martini, and we didn't. But we did shoot it near Burton Tower.
Yes, yeah, the big carillon, people call it a bell tower. I guess there are bells. That's what the functional part of a carillon is. But yeah, this was great because we shot it on a Sunday, but maybe it was around noon or so, or the bells just kept going off. They go off like every quarter hour, so we shot around that. But apparently sometime during our shooting, someone came in to practice or to perform or whatever, and we would just wait and wait and wait and wait, and the bells just never stopped chiming. and then they would stop for like 2 minutes, and we're like, okay, let's go again. And then as soon as, okay, go, and then the bells would start again. It was ridiculous. This thing took probably 3 times as long to shoot as it should have, just because we kept waiting for those bells.
The bells, 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 bells. The tintintabulation of the bells. That's a poem by an author whose name I can't remember.
I think LL Cool J.
Because the ladies love Cool James.
He was rocking the bells.
So
yeah.
What happens in this backstory? There's some kind of betrayal where Martini disappears, and there's a guy named Freddie who dies, who was a member of their team. It's all so muddled. What does it all mean?
Yeah, and the whole. I think we would have been okay with the team of not quite superheroes working together, but we sort of went off in their direction and ignored T-shirt girl for a while.
That's true.
And that kind of, it's sort of like in a sitcom where, or like there's a new character, and then all of a sudden it's like, well, what happened to that character for 3 episodes in a row? And then, oh, look, they're back again.
Right.
Even though they live in the same house.
Yeah. Well, they weren't available for those 3 episodes, so we had to write around them.
But Lena was available.
Lena was available at the time, yeah.
Except for when she wasn't,
and that's later on. We'll get to it.
Transmogrified, yeah.
But
again, if you're gonna watch this, you may as well just watch the whole thing to watch Nina and Carl, because they're great.
They are great. It's just that the words that I have written for them are not very good.
Yeah.
Oh, you know what? We have not talking about the how we sort of divvy things up as far as what we do.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Do you want to start with that?
Well, it starts with you.
Well, okay.
I guess we go to coffee and we play Scrabble, or at least we did at the time, and we talk about what are things that people could do that are stupid that would get them hurt. And you would be surprised. You would think there would just be a big list on the internet of stupid things you can do to get hurt, because there's a list of everything else.
That's true.
Internet. I guess we should have looked on the dark web.
Should have looked on the dark web.
I'm not going to thank you. Then you can't leave. So that's step one was what stupid things can people do?
What I meant by that question was, so the writing of these episodes.
Right.
In the beginning, in season 1, it was everybody kind of collaborating on writing and directing.
Right.
And
that's why it was Soggy Jim Collective in the first.
Correct. And then in season 2, it became more like I was doing the lion's share of the writing.
Yeah.
You were doing the lion's share of the directing. And all of the editing.
Yeah.
And I would find these actors who I was in shows with and get them to come aboard, which they did for a while. But here's the thing. If you run a no-budget web series and you cannot pay your actors, they might not be able to stick around.
Yeah.
And that's something we found with Natalie Aukus already, with Mark Twain.
Yeah.
And, and we're going to be finding out again very soon that some of these actors, we had to change the actors for the parts because they weren't available. And that's just the way it goes sometimes. It's unfortunate.
And mentioned this several times before, but just the fact that you were sort of knee deep in community theater and like these are all your acting friends, like this isn't the budgets and sort of the quality of this thing. The actors are like it's incongruent, like normally if there's a web series with really great actors, it's like, oh, there's a lot of money behind that, and there's whatever. This is just like we're shooting it on Saturdays, and hey, can you come over and do Soggy Jim? It's like, yes, I can. I'm a great actor. And I wouldn't be surprised to see any of these people go on to fantastic things. I mean, it seems like a few are already on their way.